Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with another video. In this video we're going to teach you how you can read the market and take trades like these. All right guys, so right here we've got a trade that we took with our community. This is AUD. As you can see, this is the H4 time frame, and as you can identify, we had sell entries, positions right at the peak, right, and we also added some positions when we had this trap above the 50 MA, right. This is our 50 pounds in the H4 time frame, and as you can see, this has moved, and we can also identify 3 levels of drop. Right, so I'm going to explain how this trade idea came about, and I hope you guys can learn something from this. All right, so as you guys know, we always want to look at a charts with our indicators. I mean, this is where a lot of people find issues, especially trading BTMM, and this is caused by just not understanding how the market moves and how you can read it. Right, so right here we've got the monthly time frame on the AUD, and what we can identify is currently, as the market has been pushing down, right, we've got a base drop right here, right. Can be hidden, right, but you can see it in obviously lower time frames, right. So as we can identify, this is where the market has been playing around. As we can see, we had price giving us a very good pattern at the supply zone and moving away. We can see how price is reacting, and currently this is what is moving price, right. Price reacted to this area, right. So this is in the monthly time frame, and what we can identify is we've got a drop base. We don't really have a drop in this case, meaning we did not see a new lower low, right. But if you go to our lower time frames, this is what I identified, right. So this was very interesting because if we use our fib for confluence, this was a nice pullback to that 50% area, right about there. That is where we were looking at, right. So that's a very good one on this one, and what we can identify is a supply structure right here, and as you can see, price already has moved away from this area, right, creating that liquidity. Sorry about that. Creating that liquidity right here, right. So just above that, as we can see, we've got a supply zone as well, a very good pattern, right. So as you can see, as price was moving up, right, we broke structure right here, right, and a pullback to that supply zone, right. So this is where this trade came about. As you can see, it has taken right at the peak, at the reversal, right. The type of trade that you would want to take, right, trades at peaks or at level 3. All right, so as you can see, if we go to the daily time frame, it becomes more clear now. As you can see, price pushed into that area, very good supply zone right there, right. If you go to the H4, this is what we can identify, right, a very good peak. So we took the trade right here, right. As you can see, that was a very good peak formation to that area, right, and we held the trade. So we're going to break it down for you guys, even on the BTMM side as we go, but this being the H4 time frame, we can identify that as a week of drop. As you can see, a week of drop, a pullback, and the dealer ended the week, right. And if we look at it from the BTMM view, this is what we can see, right. This is just a week of drop, that being your level 1 drop, 1 week of drop, level 1, right. So going into the new week, remember, we always expect a false move, right. So what the dealer will normally do is move that direction as the market opens and give us a reversal, and we continue moving to the downside, right. So always keep that in mind, right. The dealer has to do that. All right, so that's what we had, right, on that week. We had 1 week of drop, right. But before we go far, this is what we can identify just by identifying this week of drop, right. We can also use your fib, All right, you can also use your fib from the high of that week to the low of the week, low of the previous week in this case, and you want to identify if there is any interesting order blocks you can look for around that 50, 61, 80. And as you can see, what we had right here, I was very clean. All right, we had this drop, we had another base, all right, this becoming our sell zone. All right here. All right, that is exactly where we had that 50, 61, 80 area. All right, just for confluence. And as you can see, right, false move week beginning, right, getting into that order block, giving us a midweek reversal, and we had another week of drop. Right, so just by understanding this, right, and looking for such setups, right, it makes it very easy for you to count your levels. Right, it makes it very easy for you to count your levels. So for this week, as we can see, we can identify push 1. Right, we can also identify this push. Right, but if you go to the H1, right, you can even count your levels much better. Right there, as you can see, we had the midweek reversal, the peak, that is exactly where we entered. Right, we had our peak right here. Right, as you can see, the second leg being higher than the first leg, of course. Right here, that's a clear hint of the stops. That is when we had our midweek reversal, and as you can see, we had 1 day of drop on this day. Right, a pullback. Right, and then we had a follow through the next day. Right, but within that, you can identify another push and another push, giving you 3 levels. Right, and as you can see, the dealer then ended the week. So if you go to the H4, this is what you can see. This is all in 1 week. Right, and we had a pullback. Right, so for the new week, we also had a midweek reversal. Remember, after 3 levels of drop, we can anticipate a reset. In this case, you can see 1 level, you can see another level, and then we had a peak formation just above that. Also gave us a QM pattern right there to the downside. Right, and as you can see, this makes it very easy for you to trade, because you can now anticipate your stop hand. So for this day, as you can see, if we can go back to the M15 right there, right, so you're not going to fall for this. All right, you're not just going to fall for this. You'd understand that we need a stop hunt above the Asian box, because remember, we are trading away from the peak. The peak has been set already here. We want to trade away from it. All right, so stop hunt above. This stop hunt lands right at this order block. As you can see, the imbalance right there. Right, you can see the imbalance right there, and we can also identify some eco highs right here. So this was a very good move, and and move away from that. But this allows you to make better decisions in the market. So this being our reset, right, what we can identify right here is we had a drop. Right, this is just level 1. Right, a pullback. Right, and as you can see, this is our 50 pounds. Another day of drop, that's level 2. Right, and then we had the last day of drop. So if you go back to your H4, that's another week of drop. Remember, we've just broken down the levels from this. That's another week of drop. Right, remember what I said, to make it easy for you. Right, if you have identified the right cycle, of course, this will not be like this on every chart. Right, you can identify the high of the week and the low, and you expect to see a setup around the 61.50. In this case, this is what we had. Right, more confluence for us is we had the 50 EMA right here for 50 pounds. Right, and this was also a very good confluence, because remember, we had 3 levels of drop, so we're anticipating a reset, and we had a very good pattern, pins at the Mayo or the 200 EMA. Right, and as you can see, we identified another drop, right, and another drop of price right there, making that 3 levels. So as you can see, we've from that peak, we had 1 week of drop, another week of drop, and then the last week of drop. And as you can see, this pushed down to 800 EMA. So I hope you learned something from this, especially for those who struggle with level counts. But it's all about understanding what is happening, all about understanding the structure, right? And understanding that before the price moves, right, some stops have to be hit. So you need to understand the bigger picture, right? It will definitely help you, make better decisions in the market as you follow the market maker structure, right? As you follow the cycle. Alright guys, hope you learned something from this video. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be the first to watch when we upload any new content.